Welcome to Language Hut. In this video deals with 6th standard prose 1 Who owns the water section 3. So already we have seen section 1 and section 2. So in that part 1 part 2 it's described about how the little hole become a water hole. So let's see the part of the story in that section 3. Before getting into the lesson, first see the tough words and their meanings. First one, tilled. It means prepare the land for crops. Second one, meager. It means small quantity. Third one, gratitude. It means thankful. Next one, verdant. That means green with grass. Next one, suspiciously. That means doubtfully. Next one, surmount. It means called. Next one, fortune. That means luck. Next one, contentment. That means satisfaction. Next one, started. It means spoke with difficulty. Next one, foursquare. That means solidly. Let's begin. A poor farmer tilled the land near the one small depression. So here a poor farmer had a land near the small depression. His life was hard and the rain were often cruel. The poor farmer did not have a great life, and also the rains had often failed his crops. In summer months, he had to travel far to get water for his thirsty crops, and even then, his harvest was meager. So, during in the summer season, he want to travel a long distance to fetch the water for his crops, and his harvest also very less. The here meager means small quantity. Our next paragraph. One day, not long after the last of the season's rains, he straightened up from his back breaking work and looked over the land that was soon becoming brown again. So long after, in that recent rain, he straightened up his work and he worked too hard, but the land was becoming brown and dry. And on the horizon, just beyond his pitiful plot, his eyes came to rest on a patch of green. So, beyond his miserable land, he can see the green patchy land. Going closer to investigate, the farmer fell to the ground with gratitude at the sight of the verdant bowl. So, after seeing that land, the farmer went closer to investigate. The farmer fell to thank the land. So the patch green land looked like a bowl of green grass. Here was water to be had, and so close to his holding. Forgetting all tiredness, he raced home and brought out his pickaxe and spade, and soon the buffalo's picnic spot was a perfectly decent little pond. So he was very much happy to see that water because he got the water near his land. All of a sudden, he forgot his tiredness and he ran his home and brought some tools like axe, spade, and all. After that, it became a neat small pond. Is this story going to end with a moral? You ask me suspiciously. No, little one, but there is something to learn from everything we see and hear. So hush while I come to end of the tale. So you may think this story is end here with moral, but the author says no. He says there is something to learn from everything we see and hear. And he further says we have to wait till the story end. So happy was the farmer that he told his wife, who summoned the village priest to bless their fortune. So the farmer was very much happy to see that new land. He told everything to his wife. She summoned the, that means she called the village priest to the bless their fortunes. I do not need to tell you how soon news travels in a little village, and so it was quite a crowd that gathered by the side of the pond to see the priest furrow his brow and chant seriously something that nobody ever understands. So at that spot, the news were spreaded like wildfire. So all of the sudden, all the people were gathered near the pond. In that, the priests were chanting his mantras, but nobody understand. See the next paragraph. Just then, the richest farmer in the village pushed his way to the front of the group. Suddenly, the richest farmer in the village pushed all the people and come front to the group. He was always upset when things took place that he was not invited to. The richest farmer was angry because nobody invited him to that ceremony. Looking at the farmer and the placid pond, a slow smile of contentment creased his face. And he looked at the farmer and the calm pond, and he smiled with satisfaction. I see you have come to bless my pond, he said to the priest. He told to that priest that he come to bless his pond. Your pond? Started the poor farmer. The poor farmer was confused and he was shocked. Why, yes, smoothly oiled the rich one. Your patch? Surely? Ends that's there. This land is all mine. And saying this, he crossed his arms and planted his feet four square on the ground. The rich farmer said it was his pound, as the poor farmer land ended with his patch of land. So, so rest of the land belongs to him. As the rich farmer and the poor one looked at each other, the buffaloes, the dogs, the boar, and yes, even the little bird stopped by to see. So the rich farmer and the poor farmer look at each other like that. Buffaloes, dogs, boars, and also the small birds come to see the witness. They all stood around the little jewel of blue, and in every mind, small and big, came a similar thought: surely I had something to do with this. So all of them stand around the little pond. In that dry area, the pond is just looking like a blue jewel. So in there, all of them thought similarly that they have to do something in there. And so I end with a question to you, my beloved friend: who owns the water? Not a moral, just a thought, a germ of an idea to big and make bigger. So here the author ends the story with question: who owns the water? So it may be a bird or a boar, buffaloes or a dogs or a rich man or poor man. It's all belongs to the nature. So the water is belongs to the nature. So the pond is made by river. It belongs to Mother Nature. So nobody can answer for this question: who owns the water? So here the author says it is not a moral of the story, but we have to think of the think big and make bigger. So here the story ends. Hope you guys understand this story. Thanks for watching. Thank you.